here's a really powerful way to remove sales resistance from your agency's customer acquisition strategy. So you're going to do a pitch, you're going to do a sales call, whatever it is, the agency partner pitch is an incredible way to position yourself like you're not desperate at all. And it will really increase, if you do it right, it will increase your conversions and get you the best customers. Your customers won't treat you like you're their employee, rather like you are their partner, hence the agency partner pitch. Now, why are we offering this little mini course on how to acquire customers? Today, right now, below the video, we actually have an incredible offer that we've never done before, where it includes a year of UpHex, MVP, and a lot of other goodies. So if you get value from this training, great. If you get value from this training and you want to know what's next, how can you build an agency where you can have an awesome lifestyle and everything is already figured out, no guesswork, no trial and error, then scroll down the page and see if this offer is a fit for you. Otherwise, enjoy the training, and we hope to see you in the program.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're going to jump straight into the good stuff here. I'm with my buddy, Richard Sargent. Richard, thanks for doing this, buddy.
Absolutely.
Before we jump in, let's make sure you guys, Richard is a wealth of knowledge, both technical, business, sales, the whole gamut. He's done what you're trying to do. Okay. So the advice and what we're going to talk about here today are from two people that have actually been in the exact same shoes that you are in. And probably some of you are in these shoes, like maybe shaking a little bit, like you're trying to get started or whatever the case may be. So we'll make these as actionable and as real as possible. Richard, can you give like a 1-minute backstory, some context of your background in the agency space?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started over 20 years ago now, which is pretty cool to say, right? I've only done Google ads and Facebook ads, learned about Go High Level in the earlier days of it as well. But I remember when Google ads was a penny a click. And so I was protesting going down the Mountain View when it became 10 cents a click. So you can imagine how I feel now when it's over like $30 for some clicks, right? So been around it for a really long time. We also had SEO, but then this big thing called a Google Panda came out and just sucked. And so we stuck with ads from here on out. I still feel like I'll be the biggest advocate of paid ads for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
In my career. Absolutely amazing.
There's nothing more powerful than being able to control traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Paid. So every platform, and this is the way Facebook started. TikTok is now going this way. Every platform begins as an organic platform to get adoption. Once they get adoption, they turn into paid platforms, which is fair. Where else can you go and demand purchase 1,000 eyeballs for, depending on the niche, 10 to 20, 30, whatever it is? It's a really cool ability. It does require that you learn the skills and that you actually take a couple dents and dings. You know, you got to be able to take those licks and just keep moving forward. But today, the purpose of this video is we had, and hey, I'm guilty. I do this. I'm not a multitasker. We did a MVP scrum where we were just dropping lots of bombs in terms of prospecting for customers. And Richard rolled in and he was dropping some serious bombs. So after looking at it, the record button was not rolling. And I was like, of all of the meetings to not be recording, this is not one that we can't have for those MVPers. So I reached out to him the same day. I'm like, dude, would you be so cool as to come on and let's have a discussion and drop the same bombs as good as we can to help people really just get out of the gates. And that's what I'm going to say. Before we jump into this, you got to take action.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to share is very actionable. Strategically speaking, it aligns with customers to get their attention and to persuade them to say, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on this person, especially if they're new. And I think that's a big thing. Like if I were to go back in the agency today and do that, I don't have any problem getting clients. I know exactly what to say to them. And I don't have to do trials or anything along those lines. But if I were new, I would want to be able to go in and still acquire customers, even though I don't have the background and experience that I currently have today. So that's what the context of this is. Let's jump into, Richard, maybe how you, if you were to go back and it's day one and you can't use your credibility and all your kind of stuff to go in and get clients, what is your pitch, your proposition to customers that is compelling and that works?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you two examples really quick. I love dental implants, so I stay there. But when I go in, I try asking for the office manager right away to get past gatekeepers. So if you're dealing with gatekeepers, I'm not selling the gatekeeper. I'm trying to move past them. And I ask for the person's first name if I have it available. So I don't do a lot of research on the website, but I ask, hey, is the manager available? Because I want to deal with the decision maker. And most times the dentist is busy with the patient. If they're not, then they're probably not a good practice if they're sitting in their office all day, right? So I want the person that's busy that can handle the stuff. But I go and my first thing is actually to ask them, hey, what is your dental implant offer right now? Which one are you running? Keep in mind, they still don't know if I'm a marketer or a customer potentially, right? And I'm like, oh, well, we don't have a dentist implant offer. So I know it's going to throw them off. So it's not throwing me off. And I know that that's probably going to throw them off. And I says, cool, we actually run 3 different offers right now and want to see which one will work best in your office. Can I send those to you right now? What's your email address? Right? And they're like, well, hold on, who are you? That's the first time I'm so deep in the conversation that they're now asking, who am I when I'm asking for email? So I don't go up front and says, hi, my name's Richard with so-and-so agency. I have been doing this for 20 years. They don't care. They don't care about any, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm calm super direct and everything else. And I think people like that brevity of just like moving faster through it. Like he's getting to the point and he's going to move off. I'm not there to stay there long, but we're asking those questions. And sometimes they'll ask questions. Sometimes they'll ask send info. But then once I'm sending that info and it's 3 offers, which is usually like, hey, $2,500 off a single tooth implant. Hey, $125 a month or 500 down to get started. 3 different totally different types of offers. But we already built the implant offers on there and ads. And so we're sending them screenshots of those 3. And it says, well, which one do you want to run? It's not a yes or no. It's an A, B, or C. That's it.
Yeah. I love it. It's funny because so when I first started, my mentor taught me this line, this hook. Okay. And it was also in person, but it would work. It doesn't matter. It's on the phone. It would work anywhere. It's like, hey, Richard, I know you're busy. I'm also busy, but real quick. So you start out with you're busy. I'm busy. Okay. But I have 3 offers that are bringing in a ton of dental implants right now. And if you're open to getting new patients, I want to show them to you. I want to send them to you. Do you have a good email? Do you have a good email? Right?
Yeah.
You're busy. I have these things already. Do you want new patients? And do you want to see what we're doing to get new patients? And if the answer is like, that is such first, it's a pattern interrupt, like your approach, pattern interrupt, right? Second approach, you just get straight to the point. No dilly-dallying. Do you want new patients? If so, instead of money, instead of anything else, this is what's working, right? Yeah. That's how you hook and that's how you approach people. Once you've done, now, are you using any other approaches? Is that pretty much like the way you're going in?
That's a top approach. The second approach, and I think we discussed this as well, is I like the, hey, I'm going to work with only one dental implant specialist in Salt Lake City. Yeah. Is that you, or should I call someone else up? I know there's 300 competitors. I'm already going to be sending leads this way. Am I sending them to you or to your competitor? Which one do you want? Yeah. I'm forcing it on them. Which one do they want to do?
Now, we've had people, so that's a great approach too. We've had people actually spend money on ads, create a generic dentistry page, right? Dental clinic page, and then start generating ads. Have you used that approach? Is that something that you would consider? Yeah. Talk about that.
Yeah, we would use it for $500 up front, because then we're also going to be able to case study what does the first $500 look like in there. And we would even use those leads as foots in the door saying, hey, can I send 3 patients your way? I think they're out of our other area. Can I send them your way? Yeah, cool. Hey, what's your email address? I'm going to be sending you leads. So instead of the ABC offer method, right, I'm going to send you 3 leads. Can you tell me how well they work? Right. And they're like, oh, you're sending. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. What's your name? What do you want?
Exactly.
Right? And so they're up there. And then the best part is I know there's this bad SEO way of like rank and rate. So it's not that, but feels similar to that in terms of we're going to be getting leads in this area and we know the cost per lead. We know how well they work. We know the conversion rate. We basically understand the stats behind there. And what also happens is that we only work with 1 person per area. So we only have 1 horse in the race. We're not going to be working with your competitors. So what happens if a competitor ever leaves us, we know how well that area works. And so we use those stats and data saying, hey, this is what's working in this area. Do you want to partner together? We have a partnership open up October 15th. Will that work for you? You know, we have it open up in a couple of days. And they're like, ooh, they like to slide right into something that's already working. We're not selling this whole magician thing of like, we're going to build you Disneyland and all these different things. They don't care. We're getting you leads. That's it. Is that what you want?
That's right. And the partner approach is a powerful approach, right? Hey, we're moving into this market. We're going to choose somebody and we like to go in as partners. We don't even treat you as a customer. Why? Because we already have vetted, ready to use campaigns, and we're going to
Mhm.
start generating leads on the 1st of January, whether it's with you or somebody else. The leads will start flowing. We just
Yeah.
want to know where to filter them over to, and we want to know who the best potential partners are for us. Here's what a good partner looks like for us. Boom.
Mm. That's it.
Then you're in
Right.
the driver's seat.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, is I would say about like 10 years ago, we used to develop these custom Picasso campaigns, I call them, right? Where they were able to customize and come and review campaigns and tell us what they liked and didn't like. They actually don't know their customers that well. They know how to fix the teeth for their customers, but they don't know anything else. Now we have proven templates that we're using nationwide. We are already focused on 65 markets. I didn't say I'm working in 65 markets. We are focused on 65 markets. Honestly, that's going to create an unfair advantage for us. We launch one ad in 65 markets. We're going to gain so much data faster to tell you what works and what doesn't. So we're going to optimize your campaign way faster than the amount of data that you can collect in a month. So if you want to work with us and what we're going to do, it's going to do amazing things for you.
This also positions you as, like, a lot of these people lead with guarantees,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what that does when you lead with the, hey, we're going to get you, 20 new dental patients in the first 30 days, or we'll give you your money back, plus we'll pay you $1,000. That is the most ludicrous, ass backwards guarantee. And you think I'm joking. I'm not joking. Like, these are real guarantees. Like, these are what people are doing. The fine print is you have to do all of this litany of things. And what you do when you do those two things together, as you make yourself very untrustworthy as a business. They're like, of course I can't consistently, like, stand on my head every time I'm calling a lead or whatever, like whatever the thing is that they put as a caveat. And so it just does nothing but sow a bad name and a bad taste for you and your brand. In contrast, nobody is going to ask you for a guarantee if you're sending them leads, right?
Mm.
If you approach the conversation, say, hey, we're working with, our ads are going to start running in February, and we want to be sending them to a good partner. Here's what a good partner looks like for us.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them the things that looks good, and you tell them the things that don't potentially look good. Like, you might even say, we don't work well with offices who don't have much staff. If
Mm-hmm.
you only have one person and they're overworked, probably not a great fit, because we're going to be filling you with a lot of opportunities. And we don't want a bad reputation to go into the marketplace because your person is not calling their leads, right?
Yep.
And that can damage your brand. And we don't want to be a part of that. We want to be a part of lifting your business really fast. It's a win-win for both of us. So that's the first one. Are you guys, tell me more about your business. Now you are in the driver's seat. You are in the driver's seat. Anytime you're the person asking the questions, by the way, you're winning. If you find yourself talking too much and they're asking the questions, you're losing. Like, just if you want a litmus test of who's winning the actual conversation, if you're asking questions, you win. If they ask questions, you're losing. But the important thing is, what is the window that you go in? Okay. Is it the, hey, I'm the desperate guy who's never had a date? Or is it, hey, I got lots of options. I just want to be here with the right person. Tell me about yourself.
Yep.
Right. And having a way for you. And the other thing, Richard, I feel like, too, just to kind of like springboard off of, I think the approach is super simple to understand.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I don't think that people will give credit to is the psychological advantage it gives them, you, the watcher. The
Yeah.
psychological advantage you have. And by the way, you should plan on spending $500 in the marketplace on January 1st. You should plan on doing that, because
Mm-hmm.
if that belief is in your head, when you go talk to that people, everything is honest, everything is above board, and you don't feel like a salesperson. You look like a partner seeker. Wouldn't you
Mm-hmm.
agree? Like, the psychology, just the psychology alone is going to help you win.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I like to turn myself back into the buyer. And here's the thing. One of the famous things I love doing on calls is, hey, we're going to learn 3 things about each other in the first 30 days. Number 1, am I going to send you high quality patient opportunities? So change it up. If you have a different style of lead, don't call them leads, call them something else that they care about, like home services, whatever that might be. Number 2, are you going to be able to pick up the phone and get that person booked and qualified on there? And number 3, are we making money together? I know I can get high quality leads and make money. I just haven't heard you on the phone or your team on the phone. So the other thing I ask for, which is very unique, and a lot of people are probably doing this and winning. So kudos for the winners. If you don't know this technique, adopt this technique. Who on your team is going to be the patient advocate for these high ticket dental implant cases? Because we're going to send them to a direct line and they're going to ask for that person by name. So when you see that caller ID, you know that it's Jenny picking up the phone for that one. So everyone on front desk says, hey, thank you so much for calling. I'm actually going to get you put in touch with Jenny really quick because Jenny knows how to care and close those deals versus the front desk that's like, hold, please, click, right? Don't do that. And so we always ask them, hey, we're going to be sending you high quality patients. Who on your team is already handled the dental implant cases? Oh, our whole team is doing that. And they love saying that. Our whole team is doing that. I need one person that's going to be able to close this. Who's the one person on your team? And they go, oh, also, by the time we get started working together, I need you to choose one person. If you have to try out 2 people, I'm fine with that. But by the end of the week, we need to have one person that is going to be our go-to for this on that. And so, oh wow, because even in our like leads and stuff, we do the calls where it calls them back and everything else, but we tell them to ask for that person by name. And it is a custom field on there, but we're like, hey, ask for Jenny by name. Hey, ask for Marley by name. Hey, ask for so-and-so by name. So that when they call in, they already know what type of lead is coming in. You know what's funny about the front desk as well? Hey, why did Marley get 10 to 20 calls today? Right? Why is she getting so many calls and everything else? And the dentist is also saying this, like the person in the back going, wow, are we getting that many leads from them? And they're checking out and they're seeing go high level and they're seeing all these leads come in and all these opportunities filling up their calendar now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good thing to have, right?
I love this. And just so people like to solidify this concept that and both of us, by the way, I don't know if you figured this out before you figured that out, or if it was after and you like heard something like, oh, that's how those principles tie together. Um, I learned from Gary Bencivenga that making your offers or making your propositions more believable is more about under promising. And here's what I mean. He had a headline that was like, the millionaire maker, the guide to making millions of dollars, something like that, right? That was the control headline. He then took the headline and said, if you give me 20 minutes a day or 20 minutes or whatever, I'll work a marketing miracle or something along those lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the post, he's like, which one of these do you think worked? And I have to like tell you, I was like, it's got to be the one that's making the big promise, right? It is not. The one that is more believable is what's going to create the better like outcomes, right? And so in this case where you're saying, hey, who's the person? What's their current training? Are they going to be available for our onboarding to go through our training program? And if they do not, like if they don't live up to what we have in the training and they don't complete it, do you have somebody else? Because our system relies on these things happening for it to work. The more you say things like that, the more you make a list of here's who it's good for. Also, here's who it's not good for. By doing both of those things, you tell your customer this is real. And
Yep.
all of a sudden, you almost turn, you shift roles of being the salesperson into being the advisor. And the role of the advisor is way better, you guys. I can tell you right now, you can set customer expectations really well. You can make them conform to the things. By the way, they do have to call their leads.
Yeah.
Okay. They do have to do this. I don't care how good your leads are. They ain't going to convert on a wing and a prayer, on a wish and a prayer. Right.
Yeah.
So they do have to conform. They do have to do these things. And if they don't, then you do look bad. You get the blame. Right. And they're not going to blame their team. And by the way, here's one other thing. And we're getting maybe a little away from the prospecting approach, but I think it is worth it to say, in a world of action takers and in a world of leads going in if these people do not convert their leads into customers, it is your fault. They will never blame themselves. They will only blame you.
Mhm.
Okay. And so conforming and having a good relationship is really important.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
go ahead.
Well, and the other thing I like to add is what I lead with is no guarantees, nothing too crazy on there. I show them a report that we sent their client. We remove the logo on there and just put like dentist client and show them what 200 leads can do for them. And we say this client's been with us for 8 years. So it took them a while to get up to 200 leads. So I'm showing you that we can get above and beyond this. And I even show another one where we're getting like 400 leads for like a DSO, like a dental sales office with multiple locations in Chicago. Right. So we show them like, hey, we can do these different things, but we know that you might need to start more in the $1,000 to $2,000 range for ads. But here's the results that you should expect in your area. They might vary. So we're telling these people up front, right, before they even sign on. It might vary. It depends if you're in California, Texas, Florida, or even like Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Salt Lake. All the numbers might be a little bit different, but guess what? We're going to be able to work with you because we have clients nationwide. So we're going to know how your market works and what's working the quality, and we can help you to make those improvements on our side so that when people come in, we're going to teach you some of the scripts that you should use. They're not hardcore word for word scripts. It's just questions they need to ask in their own way. We teach them how to do that, but also the main objection and excuses that they're going to face in order to get this. And there's sometimes where someone answers an objection in a certain way, we're going to disqualify them, but you have it on record of they're being disqualified. But there's somewhere someone says, I just don't know if I got the time. Okay, well, thanks for calling by. And that was a full mouth reconstruction for $30,000. But since the person didn't have this time this week, they didn't schedule them. Versus, cool, well, let's find a time that will actually work for you. What's your next available time? And then I can look at my schedule.
Yeah.
Most of the front office staff says the second they hear no, they're like, well, this is a waste of my time. The other reason why is we're trusting the front office desk with all these thousands of dollars of potential revenue and stuff. They're still getting paid their same hourly wage, so they don't care, right?
That's
We
right.
asked the team afterwards, we talked to doctors one-on-one outside of patient advocates who says, is there any form of bonus or incentive we can give that person to
Yeah.
want to stay in this role because it is harder than the front office desk staff? Those people get promoted into office managers and they get all these higher roles over time and they know what that role looks like. And
Yeah.
so here's the thing, we're talking about dentists that have been around for several decades, right? But we feel like, and I know other people are doing this, so kudos for the winners out there for this, and this could be you as well, is that you can change how they operate their business. I don't care how new or old they are in the operations, you can create someone in there in their organization that's going to be a winner. So
That's
you have to build the expectations of, do you have a winner on your team, an MVP that we can rely on to send people to? Because you're going to be busy back in the chair, and I'm not going to send it to the front office desk person that doesn't care about these leads. Is someone care about your leads? Because if not, I bet you there's someone in your area that is going to handle these leads properly. And guess what we're going to do? By Friday or by the end of the week, we're going to find that dentist office that we want to work with. Is that you? Can you tell me a little bit more?
yeah.
I turned into the buyer now.
Yeah. This is a super easy approach. Honestly, it's a lay down approach. If you do it right, I know you need some confidence. And so if that's not you, get a partner, get somebody that can go. I mean, I have no problem doing, and Richard has no problem doing this. Even I could do this if I were brand new, simply because that's probably in my personality profile. If you are terrified of doing this, don't let that keep you from implementing this. Find a partner, find somebody that can do this, because this is an approach that will work. It is not like, oh, maybe no, it will work. Any, in terms of parting words of advice to people getting their first 5, 10 customers, anything else you want to share, Richard?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter your niche. I would say go and interview your niche on there. And I'm not saying like hardcore interview questions. I'm saying ask them the questions and what their pain points are. Get to know them on there. And I'm telling you right now, if I was to learn anything or do this over again, it's a volume game on there. So don't feel like 10 is going to make you $1 million. Like, oh, I did 10 calls and no one answered, but I'm
Yeah.
doing great. Get those people to where you can actually talk with them. It's a numbers game up front. There's a lot of other things you can do. But honestly, if I was to challenge anyone on here that's watching this, go back to the community where you watch this and post your question that you have of some belief or constraint that you're struggling with. We're there to help you. We're not going to go take this on Facebook and your question like, can you believe so-and-so asked a stupid question? There are no stupid questions. You're filled in a community of people that are going to help you get to the next step. Ask your questions on there. Because here's the thing I also tell people is I'll take first names. So I'm like, hey, guess what? It's Sam versus Sam on here. There's doubtful Sam and there's like optimistic Sam. Who's going to win? What objections does doubtful Sam have? And how can we knock them out? And so they laid out, well, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I'm like, Well, if we think about this frame, and so we'll actually put you versus yourself on objections, and we'll knock them out with you. And you'd be blown away of how easy it is to get a client. And here's the best part. You spend $500, you understand if it's a good market or not, and you share the data that you got from 500 with all your potential clients. They'll want to see those insights from you. What's working, what's not, and guess who has that information? You do, because you invested $500 in ads in that area. You know what works, what doesn't, and you have a ton of leads that you can send their way. Do it.
That's right, dude. Richard, thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Very helpful, very actionable. There's no excuse to not get out there and take this thing and get after it right away. So thanks for sharing it, buddy. Appreciate you.
100%. Thanks for having me.
And you, Mr. or Mrs. Watcher, go do something. Let's get it.